Just like the sunrise needs the sky, just like the blackbird needs to fly, I gotta have you by my side, 'cause you make me feel alright.
Hello one and all, and welcome along to 5 Half-Time 10 The Winner. We're back again, second week in a row, to bring you the podcast that talks about anything to do with the world of football. I'm Jamie McLean, and I'm joined as always by Davey Fennick. Hello there, Dave.
Afternoon, Jamie. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm not too bad at all, mate. Not bad. Had quite an easy day at work, so I'm full of the joys, really.
Oh, good.
So,
Nice one.
Aye, welcome along, as I say, to 5 Half-Time 10 The Winner. And I've got to say, Dave, we were at the football the other night. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, you enjoyed getting back to a bit of commentary?
Yeah. Just it's sort of giving us the bug back a little bit. I'm thinking, when can I do the next one again? But yeah, no, it was good fun and nice to see a win.
Yeah, have you thawed out?
Just about. Just about. I was more suitably attired this time than I was last time, I think. So I wasn't too bad by the end of it.
I thought you were struggling a bit on the 7-mile walk back to the car where you parked. Like.
I know I didn't follow your advice on where to park at all, did I? I should have done. I will do next time. I promise. So, yeah, Dave, back for the second week in a row. I think that's the first time we've done that for this podcast. So it's always nice to keep the momentum going a little bit. We had a message off our friend of the show, Jeff Lynch, got in touch talking about his Christmas. I think he is, yeah. I don't think Mrs. Lynch is quite our best friend with all the abuse you've given her. But Jeff's been in touch, and he tweeted a picture of something he got for Christmas, actually. A lovely little bronze, looks like a bronze statue, a little football lad with a football there. It's very, very nice anyway. So,
right.
Yeah, but he admits that Mrs. Lynch, I think so, yeah. But he asked for something unusual, and she got him that. But he says that Mrs. Lynch got the normal boring Christmas gifts. He's going to have to raise his game this coming year. So, poor show there by the sounds of it, Jeff. But yeah, you're a lucky man. I like that figure that you got.
Dinner all right?
I don't know. He didn't mention his dinner, so possibly not. But yeah, that was the only message we've had. That was the only message we've had this week.
I think listeners have got to up the game and get us message.
I know, I think so. But, come on, lads. We rely on you for half of our material. You what?
Even if it's abuse, I'm not bothered.
Yeah, exactly. We like the abuse. We can take the abuse. But, we rely on our listeners for half the material. So, come on, guys, get in touch. So, speaking of which, though, Dave, we've got a topic coming up this week, and you've been dreaming up the topic this time. What have you gone for?
I've gone for what you hate at football games.
All right, okay. Things that really get on your nerves.
Things that I absolutely hate at football games, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. I like that. There's a couple spring to mind straight away, I've got to admit, but I'm guessing you've got something that you're ready to unload with. Yes,
well, my first one is the Mexican wave.
Right, the Mexican wave, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Please tell me what sort of problem you've got with it.
Right, I absolutely detest it, basically. It's happening in football. Well, it happened, I think, a lot more in football in previous years. Now, you just tend to see it at internationals and things like that,
right,
and not really at league games. But it used to happen when people were getting bored and that, you know what I mean? They used to go all the way around the ground and sickening seeing old people and that standing up and doing the Mexican wave and that, It's just and I firmly believe people who do the Mexican wave should go to prison.
Oh, wow. They're harsh words there, Mr. Fennick. Go to prison.
Yeah, I think people who do the Mexican wave should be taken over to California and put in Alcatraz. It's not used as a prison no more. You can just go for a little tour and things like that. So people should be taken to Alcatraz who do the Mexican wave,
right,
and put in prison for a minimum of a year, because I can't stand it. You see it in cricket matches as well. And people are just getting bored, and I don't think it even originated from Mexico. It's called the Mexican wave. I think it was college basketball in America. But
okay.
I can't stand that, and it's just anybody should be put in prison who does the Mexican wave. There's no place for it in any sport, and certainly not football.
Wow, okay, so a quick question for you on that point then, Dave. If everyone who's done the Mexican wave at one match gets sent to Alcatraz for a year, they're all going to be confined together. They could plan for like a mega Mexican wave at the World Cup final when they might not otherwise have been planning on even being there. So could that not be a little bit dangerous, putting them all in prison?
Well, all right, then maybe it's not all in Alcatraz. Build another prison. It'll create jobs and put them in that, or put them on an island, a desert island, and let them live with some tribes or something.
Right, okay. So we're looking at a cross between Con Air and Lost for everyone doing the Mexican wave, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Right, okay. I can certainly say that. And I do agree with you that seeing some people who clearly have not done a Mexican wave before or are not expecting to do a Mexican wave now, it does look a little bit cringy, doesn't it, watching them do it? But I think that makes it even funnier. You know, I just think...
Yeah, but I just don't like the whole concept of the Mexican wave.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Even if it's done properly, I just can't stand it. It means people are getting bored and things like that.
Yeah,
maybe you are bored.
I get that,
Don't go to a sporting event, because you might end up getting bored. But no place for it.
Right. All right. Well, that's a fair point. And it is a good point, actually. If people are getting bored and they're starting to reflect that, it's more than likely only going to affect the quality of the sport itself as well, isn't it? Because people are going to be sort of getting all downtrodden about it. I must confess to you, Dave, I feel like I'm in a confessional here with Father David Fennick.
Right.
I have taken part in a Mexican wave before.
Oh.
So, but not particularly keenly. Yeah, not keenly, but I have taken part.
I feel a bit bilious.
Well, I've got one, and this is one that's actually affected us a little bit. It's not at the football necessarily itself, but of the coverage of the football, Dave. You're watching...
So this is coverage of football, what, on the telly? Or?
On the telly or on the radio or something like that, and this has affected us before, because we've been criticised before for not being very good at like pronouncing Italian names when we're talking about Serie A, stuff like that.
Right.
But the more I think about it, the more that grinds on me. When you're listening to people talking particularly when you're listening to English people talking about, say, Serie A, and then they reel off the Italian players or teams' names using the accent. I've tried getting my head around it, but it really sounds jarring to me.
Yeah. I think Joey Barton, when he was in France, they interviewed him and he spoke in broken English.
Yeah, well, Steve McLaren did as well, didn't he? When he was managing was it in Holland or in Germany? I think it was when he was managing in Holland, and he did that. He started saying things like this, how you say, it's like, come on, man, you're English, like you're former England manager. So
what's the punishment for them?
Well, it's not so much that. It's like when people are saying like, oh, and now Ronaldo gets it into Gerrard and up to Verratti or something like that, and it's like, oh, it just,
it's a bugbear of yours.
A little bit, yeah, and I don't mind if I'm listening to, say, Guillem Balaguer, for example, and he's pronouncing the Spanish players' names with the Spanish accent, because that's totally natural. And I do get the argument that some people say, well, that's fine if you speak the language of the name you're trying to pronounce. And again, I kind of get that, but I don't know, it just sounds disjointed to me. It always sort of brings me out of... Like, I listen to a lot of football shows for a bit of escapism, and just sort of get lost in the discussion. And that sort of brings me out of it again a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
So, punishment, elocution lessons.
Right, okay.
Enforced elocution lessons. Yeah. I don't know. It's dangerous ground, I suppose, talking about things like that. I'm not trying to sort of criticise any individual or anything like that. It's just listening to it. It just doesn't sound great to me. And I understand why people do it, but I'm not a fan of it myself. That's one big bugbear I've got with football coverage.
Okay, right. I'll move on to my second thing.
Okay.
2-team scarves.
Yeah, okay. Yep, got it. Yep.
So if you get to Wembley or something like that, say, I don't know, Chelsea and Man City, and people buy a scarf with Chelsea and Man City on, what is that all about?
Yeah.
Absolute ridiculous. Even European games, you see people, Liverpool, Benfica, or Liverpool, Galatasaray with 2 teams on a scarf. You support your team, nobody else's team. Don't buy a scarf with 2 team names on it. And this might not be prison, but a very hefty fine. And absolutely ridiculous. You support one team only. That's it.
Certainly a Crown Court appearance. It's got to be. I think the scarves are more to sort of commemorate the occasion, though, aren't they? As opposed to that. Although, saying that,
no, you don't want. I don't want to commemorate the occasion or anything like that. You support your team, and you don't get another team on your scarf.
Right. All right. Yeah. No, I get that because we saw a lot of when Sunderland played Celtic last summer. There was a lot of Sunderland and Celtic scarves made, wasn't there? And it was all to do with it being in the name of friendship, which kind of didn't work out that way in the town, did it? But
no, not at all. And people who buy 2-team scarves, like, I think you've got to look into the background and see what they're all about.
But what would you feel about? I know, right, that I'm walking into this asking completely the wrong person. But like, say, if you're a Man United fan, a Man United and England scarf, and I know you're not an England fan.
Oh, horrible, cringeable.
But you can at least sort of understand where that's come from, though, can't you?
No, but there probably wouldn't be one of them because Man United will never play England.
Well, yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, all right, fair point. I was just sort of trying to test the boundaries there.
Advocate,
yeah. Advocate? That's
Dick
Advocate, yeah.
Devil's advocate, you've messed up there. But, no, 2-team scarves. No, please.
Right, okay, that's fair. That's fair point, yeah, right. Absolutely.
Anything from you? Any more from you?
Well, you've kind of thrown me with the team scarves. I'm guessing you've got more.
I have.
You have.
I've got a couple of things more, but have you got anything more?
Well, I will have, but like I say, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the 2-team scarf thing. I can't really argue with that much. I gave it a little bit of effort, but that was sort of half-hearted. And yeah, all right, I'll give you it. We'll put that one into room 101, room 5 half-time tender winner. We'll put that into there. Okay. Come on then, give us another one.
Go on then, while I'm on my rant, while I'm tense.
I can tell you're enjoying it.
Entertainment.
Right.
Rubbish.
Okay.
Absolute rubbish.
I think
crossbar challenge or something. And people seem to get excited by it in the crowd. What's all that about?
Yeah.
Trying to kick the ball against cross. Oh, boo-hoo, well done, mate. You know what I mean? Like, you hit the crossbar. Go on, go and clap the crowd and all that, you know. Absolute rubbish. No place for half-time entertainment. The last good bit of half-time entertainment was when either the RAF dog or the police dog used to come on and all that, or a local garage would bring cars into the stadium, and I always wondered how they got in, which corner they came in, drive round the sort of outskirts of the pitch, and one would always get stuck at the corner flag.
Right.
Like, sort of edging round. You know, that was good. Local garage doing that with its names all. Maybe that lost its way when players don't have sponsored cars no more, you know?
Yeah,
But that used to be all right when the cars going round the, you know what I mean? That wasn't bad. Or, as I say, the dogs and the bank robber and all that. We've been that.
Yeah, we covered that in the very first episode.
But no, half-time entertainment is absolute rubbish. But people are like cheering, getting excited. The same people who I think go to retail parks on a bank holiday and enjoy it.
What's that got to do with it? Yeah, no, I get it.
Well,
the same sort of person.
The people who's cheering at half-time entertainment, I bet they go to retail parks on a bank holiday and enjoy it.
Well, there you go.
You don't want to be anywhere near a retail park any time of the year. But bank holidays, people say, and get excited about going to shops on a retail park. God, I'm getting tense here, man.
I was going to say, you all right, Dave? Have you had a rough week?
No. It's just, you know, I like to be passionate about things.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. And again, not a massive fan of retail parks, if we're going to go down that route. As far as halftime entertainment goes, yeah, again, not a massive amount to argue with there. A lot of it is just filler. I know they used to do, like, sponsored sprints, didn't they? Some of the players used to get involved and do like sponsored sprints or something like that. And that was like a sort of almost a competition within the competition, whereby the times, they went one-on-one with
I've never seen that.
Yeah, they went one-on-one with a player from the opposing team, and their time was recorded, and at the end of the season, the fastest average player or team or something got an award from the sponsors of this tournament.
Were these players who were playing in the game?
Well, I get my memory's very hazy about this, and probably a lot of this
was when you were at college and were drinking a lot.
I actually think it was more a case I was young.
I've never seen.
You've never seen that? I'm sure it was. Get in touch, please. Get in touch if you've heard or have any recollection of anything like that. Have I just dreamt it? I don't think I've just dreamt it. I don't think I have, but I'm not going to speak that much with conviction. But
surely a player that's played 45 minutes isn't going to do.
Yeah, I think it was
sprints.
It was likely to be reserve players or people. I very much doubt it would have been first team players. Like I say, a very hazy memory, but there was definitely something along those lines was a thing. No comment. Right, okay, so there you go. Half-time entertainment gone into 5 half-time, 10 the winner, room 101. Carry on. You sound like you've got a list.
All right. No, well, this could be my last thing.
Right.
Shaking hands before the game. Teams shaking hands. Lining up on the halfway line, shaking hands. Pathetic. Rubbish. Why do you want to shake a hand of the opposition before you play? Fair enough, shake hands at the end of the game, when the game's over. Shaking hands before the game. No, no, no. Pathetic, rubbish. Don't know who's brought it in. Probably something from the people, the FA, and we all know what that stands for, what they know about football.
Yeah.
And shaking hands, no, don't do it.
Right, okay. But that can provide some entertaining moments, so when the odd opposing players refuse to shake hands, provides more column inches, creating jobs. Well,
that only happens when John Terry's been with about 7 teammates wives.
That was kind of the situation I was thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't want to shake his hand, so that's fair enough.
Or he's been accused of racially abusing someone and there's refusal of handshakes there. I don't have a problem with that.
The nice lad he is.
Well, absolutely. Can't comment on that. Don't know him personally.
Shaking hands before game, no. Shake hands after the game, that's fine. Game's over, and I think you should shake hands at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Not before.
Right, okay. I'm a little bit thrown by that one because I really don't have a problem with that personally. No, I think it's just all in the name of competition and friend. I know it's not necessarily friendly, it's a contact sport, sort of, apart from fear of going into the referee's book. No, I don't see a problem with that too much personally, especially you've got things like in the FA Cup, say Man City against Burton. And those Burton players, that'll mean a lot getting a handshake off some of the bigger Man City players, before the game.
They can at the end of the game, though.
Well, yeah, but a lot of the Man City players might not still be on the pitch, maybe. They could at the end of the game,
come out onto the park and shake hands, even if you've been substituted.
Yeah, no, fair point, but I don't know. I would be a little bit more on the fence about that one than your other suggestions, I have to say.
Okay.
It's, again, see where you're coming from with it. You're going to shake hands at the end of the game anyway. But no, I don't personally have a problem with it. And I think it's laughable how some players shake the referee's hands before the game, though. I will say that you know that there's going to be conflicts as the game goes on, and they still insist on shaking hands.
Yeah, I'm not saying not be unsportsmanlike. I'm saying at the end of the game you shake hands, not before.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Well, that's fine then. I do have another one. And it is something I think we've touched upon.
No more now.
It is something I think we've touched upon before, I think. Not celebrating when you score against your old club.
Now, yep, you go on. You tell us your views
I was just going to say, in certain circumstances, say, for example, taking a Sunderland example, because we were there the other night, say if Kevin Ball had scored against Sunderland when he was playing for Fulham or something, fully accept that. He spent years and years at Sunderland, loved the club, all of that, fine. But if it was someone who just sort of played for them for a season and then didn't celebrate, say take, for example, Darren Bent, just to pick a name out the hat, if he hadn't celebrated, I think that's ridiculous, because this is just a club that's been one of many on like your journey throughout your career. I don't understand. It is almost like trying to grab attention by not trying to grab attention. Do you know what I mean? And that really gets on my nerves.
I've got is maybe if you're from that town. So if it's somebody from Sunderland and being brought up a Sunderland fan, maybe you wouldn't celebrate, But I have no problem with anybody celebrating a goal that's been at the club. I mean, it doesn't matter,
Well, that's the thing. You're
Kevin
playing
Phillips was a legend at Sunderland, but he wasn't from this area. And I don't think Kevin, knowing him, I don't think he would celebrate if he'd scored for another club against Sunderland, but it's up to the individual.
Yeah, no, I would take the Kevin Phillips example. Again, a bit like Kevin Ball. Yes, fine. He did a lot while he was at the club. The fans love him still, generally. And, I would fully accept that. But my problem with it is, if you're playing for another club and you score a goal, you've done your job. You've helped the club, the people who pay your wages now. So unless there's any real particular sentiment, like you played for them for a long time, or like you say, you're a big fan and you've never made a secret of that, yeah, okay, fair enough. But I just think a lot of players almost took it upon themselves to not celebrate scoring a goal against an old club, even though they maybe played for them a year ago, like for a decade ago. And it just seems like the in vogue thing, and it's that annoys me.
Yeah, I think it's entirely up to the individual.
Yeah.
It might be their personality.
Yeah, maybe. Or, like I say, just wanting to try and get some sort of more column inches written about them. Oh, he didn't celebrate, I don't know. But yeah,
Just before we go, there's one thing that just survived the sort of cult, should you say?
Right.
And that's mascots. Because I thought youngsters who go to the game enjoy them, but I'm not a fan really of mascots, But I'd say it's place for the younger ones that's at the games maybe, and like to say the mascots. It is quite funny when it sometimes kicks off. I think the Wolves mascot once head-butted another team's mascot.
Yeah.
Something like that, so they got quite entertaining.
Gives you some good visual.
But mascots, it was going to be in, but I'm okay with it.
That would have been quite good, actually. I possibly would have argued in favour of the mascots, but yeah, no, that could have been good. We saw Samson and Delilah trying to get a game the other night, didn't we? It was just about ready to kick off, and there was still a halfway line. But I actually know a lad who used to be mascot at Torquay United, and he used to absolutely love the job. But that's about.
But was their mascot a gull or something?
It is a gull, Dave. Yep.
Hey, I'm wasted.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Big gull with a big beak wearing a big Torquay United shirt. It's hilarious. It's brilliant. So yeah, good. That was quite a nice little honourable mention, because I think mascots, again, I could have seen where you were coming from, but I'm glad you
It was quite a good bit of knowledge from me, actually.
What, knowing about the gull? Yeah, it was. It was very good. I'm impressed, actually. Yes, very good. Okie dokie then, Dave. So have you anything else on your list, or are you feeling a little bit better
fine.
now?
I'm ready to calm down now.
Right. There we go. Well, anyone who's listening, what do you hate in football? Do you agree with any of the things we've said? Do you think we've maybe been harsh? Have we not covered ourselves in glory with some of them? Is there something we've completely ignored? I'll tell you what, Dave, if we get enough suggestions, it might actually be worth doing another episode separately, just going through other people's suggestions and having our take on them as well. So that's a good one. That I like that. So please do get in touch. We're on Twitter. We're at WinnerPod. You can email us, which I forgot to include in the last episode, so apologies for that. show@tenthewinner.com.
Haven't had people contribute.
Possibly. Yeah. So that was show@tenthewinner.com. The website is tenthewinner.com, and please just find us on your chosen podcatcher, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Acast, Stitcher, Spotify, and just leave us a rating and review when you get a chance. That is absolutely massive, and we do really appreciate it, don't we, Dave? We take it as a personal favour. And if you could do that for us, that would be wonderful. And thank you once again, Dave, for joining us. I've really enjoyed that one, actually, and I'm glad you've vented a little bit of that steam. I think that's been building up by the sounds of things. So, so yes, thank you once again. And until next time, we'll be back. I think the plan now is to be back in 2 weeks' time, Dave. Is that right?
Yep, that's fine.
We will be back then. And yeah, enjoy your football and just take care of yourself. We'll see you next time.
I'm wasted.